Oh, we're live. That was all the thumbs up. Welcome to the Dylan Talks Tone Q&A on a Thursday night. Sorry we are late. We are in. It's a crazy day. It's a crazy day. We're in a undisclosed remote location, sort of like Texas Toast, but not really. And the sound is probably super echoey, and the light isn't as good, and you can hear dog claws on the ground. And yeah, it's just kind of one of those days where we're dog sitting at the moment. And so, welcome. So I guess what we should do is, what is happening?
I don't know. Do you have some kind of...
Is there some green screen thing on? Because my bottle is disappearing. See it?
Yeah, but why is it brick?
I don't know. Maybe there's a green screen thing behind us.
That doesn't make sense.
That's weird. Whoops. I think I know where it is. Hang on, guys. We'll fix it up. Is it here?
Yes, it's on. See it?
But my bottle will appear now. Boop. Yep, it did. What does that say? Should be home a little after 9. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Well, I guess this is just going to be one of those crazy nights. So let's get into it. I guess we should just get straight into questions tonight. And we will get through as many as we can. We got a bunch of questions came in from Patreon. You saw the thumbnail. We're going to talk about some stuff. I guess let's just get straight into our Patreon questions. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated with the late start.
Ian. Hi, DNL. I'm curious if there was any specific reason you decided on pickups to be your thing with guitars. I remember from one of your videos, one of your goals was to have a guitar product with your name on it, and thought pickups versus amps or effect pedals is a fairly behind-the-scenes choice for that goal. I could see your tagline, the new vintage, apply especially well to a line of high-quality, solid-state modeling amps, especially.
That's interesting. So this is kind of what the thumbnail is about. So let's break this down. So yes, I wanted to have a guitar brand with my name on it. That is true. And then we'll talk about the new vintage thing. And okay. Yeah, this is an interesting question because it kind of led me to think about what we need and why we need it when it comes to aftermarket stuff. If I'm trying to decide what I'm going to build my company around, because I did want to have a guitar related brand, what I was going to build it around, what was it going to be? And of course, I wanted to have a guitar with my name on it. And that did happen eventually. We have built and do build guitars. You're going to go check on him? We have built and do build guitars, and from time to time. And so the pickup thing came from problem solving. To me, the reason a new product, this is the way I've invented things in the past and developed products in other, the power sports industry and other genres as well. And for me, it's always been like a problem solving deal where I have seen a thing and wanted to make an improvement from it. I'm not necessarily pull a new concept out of thin air guy. I don't usually do that. Usually it's kind of an improvement, an evolution, that sort of thing. And so the very first pickup we designed was the center punch because I wanted to design a humbucker that did not have as much volume drop when you coil split it. So that was the thing. I spent a lot of time developing that pickup. And then it came to telly stuff. I didn't like neck pickups and tellies. And the whole thing came from where my expertise in electronics is. So the reason I don't, and the fact that I'm not a very good player in comparison to a lot of other folks. Um, my all my growing up has always been listening, kind of behind the desk. So my dad's a producer, songwriter. He's a musician. He played guitar and stuff. But I always did the thing from the behind the desk part. Like I can listen and hear better than I can play. So that's why I always say I can make you sound better than I can make me sound. Um, so to me, the reason we need aftermarket pickups is to solve the little problems, and not only that, uh, not because my pickups are better than anyone else's, but they're flavors. To me, the pickup is a flavor that you can add to your arsenal. If you've got, you know, real coffee lovers, real ice cream lovers, real scotch lovers, real wine lovers don't usually have just one flavor of, right? Like of anything. Usually they have two or three flavors or five flavors of, because they want a broad range. And that's the way I feel about pickups. I feel that they solve some problems, they get you some flavors that maybe your guitar didn't have, and they are flavors. And there's no wrong answer, right? That's the other thing about pickups. There's no wrong answer. It's like, if you want it to do this, then get these. And I'll even say that, if you want a wide range humbucker that does the thing, get the Lawlers. If you want P90s, obviously get mine. If you want gold foils, get Tim McNally's. If you want, some of the Seymour Duncan, the hot stuff is, well, DiMarzio's good at the hot stuff too. So, there's an Arcane pickups and who's the English people with the laser etching and cool covers. Um, there's people that are really good at various uh, parts of that. The reason I never went into amps is because honestly, I didn't want to deal with high voltage. I did a lot of TV repair back in the day when we had real TV tubes and when we had real computer monitor tubes. I went to school. After I went to school, I went to another school to learn computer monitor repair, switching power supplies and CRT tubes and all that kind of CRTs. CRT tube is redundant because you're saying cathode ray tube. So anyway, so I know all the high voltage stuff, but I just didn't want to do anything with it. I didn't want to work in it.
Bare knuckle.
Bare knuckle, thank you. Um, I didn't want to work in that department, and the goal was always to have a guitar with my name on it. And we do that. We have done that. We will probably continue to do that in the future if there is the right circumstances for us to do it again. But pickups to me were a thing that we could add flavors and legitimately add something of value to the marketplace. If you can't add something of real value, then don't do it. Because you're just going to be in amongst a million other people. And so this on Thursday nights, explaining how we do all these things and why we do all these things, is how we add value. And obviously, besides the products, because the products are amazing. But it took me a long time to figure it out, though, to get it to a point where I felt like it was all working. But that's why I think we need these things. That's why I think we do need multiple amps. We do need multiple guitars. We do need multiple pickups in the aftermarket because it's the spice of life when it comes to guitar stuff. And I think it's really important that we don't look at things like better or worse. I'm not a person that does that. I don't look at this guitar is better or worse than this one. I hate those comparisons. You've heard me talk about it many times. I just view what contribution to my arsenal is this? What flavor is this bringing? Whether it's a $200 guitar or it's a $20,000 guitar, is there a space for this in my arsenal of things of flavors and weapons that I'm using? And that's really it. So that's why I like that stuff, and that's why I like bringing it. So yeah, cool.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do the next one.
Hi. Oh, this is from Nick. Hi, Leslie and Dylan.
Hello.
Been a while since I messaged. Congrats on the house, and I hope the wedding goes well. Dylan, I know you're a fan of Lizard Spit products. I'm looking at their fretboard conditioner, but it's not as readily available in the UK as it in the US. Therefore, it's quite expensive. Do I remember you saying that you've had the same bottle forever, or am I misremembering?
I literally knocked that bottle off of my desk today. It did not spill, but it is the same. I was literally thinking about this before I even saw this question today. Yes, it's the same lizard spit oil bottle that I have been using for probably 8 years now. Um, it's probably too soon to say this out loud, but stay tuned on lizard spit availability. I really want to bring it back again. We used to carry it as an add-on. Like if you bought pickups or whatever from us, you could add it onto your cart, and that was a cheap way of getting it because then the shipping was already paid with the pickups and stuff. Um, and we stopped doing it when we moved into the motorhome because I didn't want to carry all that inventory around. But I love their products. I really do. They're really good, and you can get them at Sweetwater now too, so you can add them on there. That's kind of one of the other reasons I didn't hurry to add them back to our lineup. Um, but I have been thinking. We were just talking about this a couple days ago that I've been tossing around the idea of bringing their products back to make it cheaper for people like you, so that we could just put it in the box as an add-on product with whatever else you buy from us. Um, but it does last forever. I'm on my second bottle of guitar polish ever. My first bottle of graphite nut lube. You want me to say nut lube again?
If you want
Okay.
to.
I was trying to make you laugh. Um, yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff.
Ivan. Hi, Dylan and Leslie. Date night tonight. Nothing fancy, just walking down to the local bar and grill a block down the street. Might make it in for the after party. Take care, everyone.
Well,
That's
thanks.
cool that he just has a bar a block away.
I know. We don't have that.
Oh, he is here already.
Oh, yeah, it's because we're late.
Might have had a quick.
I had a quick one and came home.
Matt. Good evening, Dylan and Leslie. Sometimes I forget to turn off my amp, non-tube, after jamming at night and come to find it's still on in the morning. As Chief Energy Officer of the household, am I using any appreciable amount of electricity as it sits idle or harming the longevity of the amp?
That depends on how much heat is in the item. The only reason electronics die is because of heat. So if it gets warm and it stays warm, you can dry out capacitors over time. Uh, it depends on the power supply, actually, but I have had solid state circuits go bad from sitting on all the time. But I also have had, like, I'll leave my pedal board on for a month at a time. But the amp is about heat. So I wouldn't do it, but I also wouldn't stress about it too much if you accidentally do it. Especially if it's not tubes. More so if it's tubes.
Timothy, my Texas Toast guitar loaded level 1 arrives next Monday. So just how excited do I get? Methinks a lot.
Dude, you need to get real excited. I was just on the phone with Matt last night. And for those of you that think possibly that I am
I didn't mean to hide his comment.
oh, that I
Like
am
tapped.
that I am shilling for a company just because Matt called me last night and I was like, dude, this guitar is so good. It's like an Italian motorcycle. Like if I had another like an Italian motorcycle in the garage, no matter how long I owned it, I would literally go out there and just sit and with a beer in my hand or a scotch or something and just look at it and like pick out little details and like little things about it that are super cool. And that guitar is like that. It's like I keep playing it and I keep seeing like little things. It's so good. And the neck is unbelievably good. Be excited about that guitar. And if for the rest of you that have not ordered one yet, all I'm going to say is you need to get one while you still can. I think personally that Matt and Chris are going to get to a spot where they're going to have to charge more and they will demand those prices because they will get more because they're that good. These guitars are very good. That guitar is the best finished guitar that I own. When it comes to electrics, it's better than any Gibson. And that's not to say Gibsons are bad, because my Gibsons are perfect. But there is something about this guitar. It is just so good. It's good. It's so good. I love it. And it turns heads. Not everybody has one yet.
This person didn't tell me how to say their name yet.
Oh, he actually emailed me last week with a phonetic spelling, and I forgot to tell you. You might have been in a meeting or something when I got the email. It is, I think it is Efstathios because he's Greek.
Okay.
I think that's how you say it. Anyway, that's.
Well, thank you for answering my question, but he didn't tell me the
Yes,
answer.
I'm sorry. I did.
Hello, Leslie and Dylan. I just received my very first pickup from you today, a whiteout Super 8 bridge humbucker, and it looks amazing. Thank you for this speedy and professional transaction. I'm looking forward to start the upgrade on my pink Squire Strat. Is there a place or way you would prefer I and others post audio and or video pictures of before and after?
I would say in the Facebook group. First of all, post it on Instagram and tag Dylan Talks Tone if you don't mind. And then also the Dylan Talks Tone Insiders group on Facebook. That is where I would do it. Let's see. Maybe he emailed me. I can't find it. It's not here now.
Oh, he's in the chat. He said Dylan actually pronounced it absolutely correctly.
Okay.
Good. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I've found in the past that Greek names are pretty phonetic most of the time.
Cool. Zoltan. Hi, Leslie and Dylan. I greatly enjoyed Matt and Chris's Monday rant on people who cheap out. From your perspective in today's world, isn't decent guitar gear for the working professional musician ridiculously cheap compared to the cost of pro tooling for most other professions?
Yeah,
It's an interesting perspective.
I 100% agree. I mean, how much is your laptop and your monitor?
I don't want to know because I didn't pay for it.
Well, I looked it up. I think your laptop's like $3,500, and the monitor is like $700 because I was going to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your tools, and your desk chair, and your desk, and your little thing you put your feet on. I mean, that's probably $5,000 worth of stuff if you added it all up. Those are the tools that you use.
Not including software too.
Not including software.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how many thousands of dollars of tools do I use every day, like, to do my job? And people complain about a $3,100 Les Paul. And what's interesting is the people talk about a working musician, but working musicians don't play cheap guitars. I know very few working musicians, even on a local level, that play cheap guitars. And I know some can, some do. Everybody's going to bring up what's his face from some band. Who cares? That he plays everything. Tim Pierce, you know, whoever, whatever, it doesn't matter. And so there's always going to be that guy. But entry level guitars are not working musicians' tools, they're entry level instruments. They are building blocks as you continue to expand your horizons about what the possibility of an instrument is. And very skilled people can get a lot out of an entry level instrument, but they can almost always get more out of not an entry level instrument. And they can always, most of the time, as you become more skilled in any profession, you become more capable. This is probably a generalization, but you would probably agree with me that as you become more skilled in any profession, you can recognize more and more nuance between, like smaller things can make a bigger difference, right? People talk about Gibsons and Epiphones. Oh, they sound the same. You can't even tell the difference. Yeah, you can, because the finish is different. It feels different to me. It makes me feel different when I play the guitar. So if you buy I don't know, two different mechanical keyboards.
I mean, I have an example.
Okay, go ahead.
I would prefer to work on a Mac,
Yes.
and I enjoyed working on a Mac.
Mm-hmm.
But for what I do and the software I need to run, it was easier to have a PC and more convenient, so I don't have to run VMware.
Right. And so but even in the equipment itself, I was thinking about keyboards.
That is equipment.
No, I was thinking about like the tactile part. Like, yes, to me.
Yeah, I would love a tactile keyboard, but I would drive you insane.
Right. Well, pretty soon you won't be in earshot of me, and
yeah, but then I probably can't take notes during meetings or anything.
Right. I guess what I'm getting at is, to me, Mac versus PC is almost like Fender versus PRS, right? Like it's two completely different trains of thought of how a guitar is built. It's two completely different trains of thought of how a computer is built. They do the same thing, but this one can do things that one can't do, and vice versa. They're different design ethoses, right? Of how.
True.
So, but if you bought a $600 HP with a crappy keyboard, or a $3,500 computer that you have now, and you had to type on it all day, you would be like, I don't like this keyboard. I don't like the tactile feel of it. I'm more comfortable. And so those nuances you can feel more.
Like you don't like an Apple mouse.
I don't like an Apple mouse.
Even though you use all Mac.
Even though I use all Mac stuff. Yep. And I have a mouse that is more expensive than an Apple mouse because it feels different. It's not because it's better. It's not because, it feels different. And so as you get better at all of this, playing guitar, you recognize those nuances more. Many people do. I'm not saying that everybody does, but many people do. And I think those are the things that guitar players who are consistently like, cheap guitars are just as good as expensive guitars, they're just as good as guys, do not recognize, or do not allow themselves to recognize, or I don't know what, or do not allow other people to recognize those things for themselves. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of times the more fancy stuff you have, the more fancy stuff you have to have, because you're like, oh wow, now I really know.
I don't know who the guitar curator is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
He's been in there.
I would like to know who he is, because he just called me out. He was like, JAWS and NVDA, right?
Oh, dang.
Yes, actually.
Yep. Yeah, so I think that's a great question to think about. And I would encourage, and I know we have, Charles is a mechanic. Snap-on tools versus Blue Point tools are, Blue Points are 30% of what a Snap-on costs. It's made by that's the Epiphone and Gibson of the same company. But he knows what it's like to split a 12 millimeter socket when a Snap-on doesn't split a 12 millimeter socket. Or he knows what putting a Torx bolt in the good Snap-on ones with the nitride coating on them, and you can like put an impact wrench on them even though you're not supposed to, and they never break. And then putting a Craftsman one or a Blue Point one, and it's snapping it off. Like people, they look the same. They're Epiphone Gibson of tools. They know. It's investing in yourself too. That's why I don't like the whole. I want a custom guitar, but I want it for nothing, or the people that are overly price conscious about something that the more value they find in it, they're investing in themselves as a guitar player too. So yeah. Anyway, next.
Charles. Good evening, Leslie and Dylan. Thank you for sharing your evening with us.
Thank you
Yes,
for
even
sharing
though
your evening with us,
we were
even though it
late
was a
and
little weird.
distracted.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, well. Do we have any questions over there?
Yes.
Let's do some questions from over there.
First, I was going to read Angel Raven 444's comment. Said, I caught a 30-pound steelhead with the same earrings Leslie is wearing.
That's really funny.
Okay. Oh, another quick comment. Panzer Steven says, I plan on buying a set of P90s from you. Stay tuned.
Excellent. You will love them.
67 Goat. The metal mesh P90s come Monday. Now I just have to figure out what they are going in.
I just shipped those today. Yesterday. Maybe yesterday.
Oh, the guitar curator didn't tell me who they were, but said, I've used those tools at work. I believe we do similar work. See, but now he knows a thing about me, and I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, let's blow through some of these and maybe get into some off topic if we have time.
Marcia Murray. So if my guitar gets quieter when I touch the strings, I have a grounding issue?
No. If you touch the strings and the guitar gets quieter, your guitar is working perfectly.
The Itchy Bretta.
Love it.
Dylan, guitars, schmars. Seeing your hat. This is kind of after hours. I'm going to ask it anyway. Seeing your hat compels me to ask your thoughts on Lewis heading to Ferrari. Good move?
I don't care. I don't care. I feel bad for Carlos Sainz because Carlos Sainz is good. Hopefully he lands somewhere cool.
T. Hey, Dylan, you think you'll ever make active pickups? Why or why not?
Nope. They're not in my wheelhouse. And going back to the earlier conversation we had, I just feel like it's not an interest of mine as well as it's not a contribution I can make that I don't have a reason to make a contribution to that market. Fishman Fluence and maybe that'll change in the future as technology changes, but not now. Mm-mm.
Zodiac Gallery. Would you say versatility rules the day or multiple unique voices are better? Trying to decide between building a double humbucker Jimmy Page rig or keep the gold foils my guitar came with.
So I used to have these guitars that would like have all these switches and all this pulls and pushes and do 20 things. And, I played live a lot. I'd play a couple gigs a week before, during that time actually. And I found I'm like, no, I would rather have 3 guitars that did 3 different things and switch it between songs and literally just be like, no, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I am just playing the guitar and this one sounds this way. Plus it's more fun. to have more than one guitar. And I think that you get into a situation where you put so many features on one guitar and you just end up not utilizing them the way you think you would when you built it, and then end up using 2 or 3 sounds of the 21 tone Jimmy Page setup or whatever. I just don't feel like it's a thing. It's kind of not my normal thing. Well, let's see. Question: what replacement pickups for Gretsch Broadtron BT3s? Let me see which ones those are. The Gretsch stuff, I am admittedly not. When you saw my videos about like the first Gretsch or whatever, that was kind of no lie. I am just not really a Broadtrons. Let's see, Broadtron BT3. I'm just not a BT3. Here we go. Those are going to be regular Filtertrons, and we don't make anything for that. And so I would say that you probably, I would go to Tim McNelly for that stuff. Your undisclosed location is significantly less bunker-esque than the TTG bunker. Yeah, it's true. It is true that our let's see here. I'm gonna click a couple of these. Leslie's tied up for a second, so I'm gonna. Here we go. Sorry we're so discombobulated, but the next few weeks is probably going to be a little crazy. So let's see. The metal mesh P90s. Okay, we talked about that already. But to build on this discussion, it's hard to ignore and